So we are going to create a Sky High sequel. 20 years later, I want to know where you think Gwen/Sue is right now. So I got 4 questions here, and we're going to build a film for you. So first one here is the big one. Do you think that she learns her lesson at the end of the movie, or is she still operating as a supervillain?
I think she's still operating as a supervillain for sure. I don't think there was any like moral, reassessment for her of her actions. I don't think so.
I feel like when you go around that twice, you're pretty much committing to that path.
Oh yeah, you're committed for sure.
All right. So let's say she ditches that supervillain team that she has. She needs to make a new team. You could pick 3 characters from your past films to add to that team. Who is on her team?
I think Harley Quinn would be a good teammate for her. I think that they would make sense together. I'm thinking of like one of the girls from Death Proof, like some
Zoe Bell.
I
don't want to play favorites. I love everybody, but Zoe Bell is incredible.
Clicking through in my head, like, this badass girl. Zoe Bell. Yes, that would be the one. Yeah. So you said 2.
We got one more. You got one more slot to fill. I mean, my mind always goes back to Final Destination 3, but I don't know if any of them are super villain sidekick friendly.
Like, who would be a good supervillain from that movie would be Amanda Crew, who played my little sister in that film.
Okay.
Who also happens to be one of my best friends in real life. But because that character was really, like, she was supposed to be really annoying. She was like the annoying kid sister who was always like, just like being a brat. So she could be a good foil in there in her own way.
Okay. I can picture this. We got 2 more questions left. Who is your new arch nemesis? Is it a character from the Sky High film, or it could be any character from your other films?
Oh, Gideon. Gideon would be a great, nemesis. Oh no, but I'm the evil villain, so I want a good person. I'm making sense of all this now.
My mind immediately went to Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim, you're thinking of the actual person, Scott Pilgrim. Yeah, I like that. Let's go with your answers. I like that. Scott Pilgrim.
We got one more to go. So the pacifier, the weapon, it's dated. It's been done. We got to switch it up. So she makes an updated version. That weapon turns her victims into what now? Oh, Babies was so good. It was such a great turning people into babies. Like that was so great. Like the opposite, like little old people, like really like frail, tiny little old people. Just go to the opposite spectrum. Maybe that's the new version. No, this could work, and somehow we landed in a place where I really want to see this movie. I'm gonna roll the die for you 3 times, and we're gonna see what questions you land on. Number 7 is called Mama Nems because my mom is a big fan of yours, and she submitted a question. She really wanted to ask a question about Final Destination 3. So her question is, are you able to ride roller coasters anymore, or did that movie freak you out?
I'm still able to ride roller coasters. I think I'm getting less into them as I get older, but it's more due to age rather than due to filming that movie. I'm just a little less interested in breaking my neck on a roller coaster. But I think it did. We did have to ride a roller coaster. I think it was something like 50 times in a row during the opening sequence of that. And there were a lot of people throwing up and getting sick. And I mainly just had really bad whiplash for a while. Like I felt like this, like my head was like not attached to my body anymore. It was a really strange feeling. But thankfully I was still cool with roller coasters. They're cool with me.
Good. I appreciate you putting yourself through that because I love that movie.
Good.
Next one up is a number 2, Never Again. What is something that you did for a film that now makes you say, I'm really glad I did that, but never again?
I would say like sort of gratuitous like love scenes or nude scenes. I haven't really done much of that in my career, but I did it like once or twice where I was sort of like, I guess you sort of have to do this because everybody kind of does it and it's not a big deal. And in the right project for me, I've done it and it feels fine. But I remember doing a pilot that didn't end up getting picked up. So nobody's ever seen it, thankfully, where it was sort of like, there was that kind of thing in it and I wasn't comfortable, but I did it anyway. And it was one of those things where after the fact, I was just like, why did I do that? I didn't want to do it. And I did it anyway. I should have like listened to that voice inside and just not done it. So that was a learning lesson for me.
One more to go here. 5. Zombie apocalypse. It's a little random, but because we've seen you kick ass in so many movies lately, I just have to know. You yourself, after all of this stunt training, if there was a zombie apocalypse tomorrow, do you have faith in yourself that you could survive?
Sort of, yeah. I have faith in myself that I'm pretty adaptable. I don't necessarily know that I'm like gonna kick ass and fight off zombies necessarily, even though I have some physical capabilities. I'm not sure it's that capable, but I at least know that I can kind of go with the flow and sort of pick up whatever's going on. Like I can try and, if there's something happening that, I want to like get swept up in, there's some movement I can be a part of, I will do my best.
All right.
To save the world.
That's going to get you far. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Collider Ladies Night. This is a very special edition of the show because Mary Elizabeth Winstead is officially our second returning guest to the show. Yay. Thank you so much for being here, and huge congratulations on Kate.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
All right, let's jump into the meat of the interview now. And the one that I wanted to start with, because we only brought it up briefly last time, and it deserved more of a conversation, is Sky High.
Aww.
The last time we spoke about that movie, you had mentioned that you had a period of like a year where you didn't work, and then you booked Sky High, and then things stayed pretty consistent and steady from there. So it was just making me wonder, do you think that that has anything to do with Sky High itself, as in, whether it's what you learned while making that movie, or maybe that movie getting you in front of more eyes out there? Is that what made the difference with that?
I think for a lot of actors starting out, they'll tell you it's kind of a domino effect. It's like you just need that one good part, that one sort of legitimate movie that plays in the theaters, if it comes on TV that people think is good. And then it sort of starts a chain reaction that's like, oh, somebody saw that movie and put you in another movie. And then somebody saw that movie and put you in another movie. And that's kind of all it takes to get the ball rolling. So I don't really know at the time how many people saw that movie, what kind of effect it had overall, but it had enough of an effect to get me at least one more job, which is all it needed to do, And now I think it's really kind of had some staying power because more generations have like picked it up and seen it and loved it. And I love that because I kind of feel like it was a bit of an underrated movie when it came out. So I love that people are still watching it.
You were fairly new to the scene at that point when you did that movie. And all of a sudden you step on set with heavyweights like Kurt Russell, Kelly Preston, Bruce Campbell, so many more. I could go on and on. Is there anything that you saw any of those veterans do that made you say, like, I like how they're doing that. I want to put that in my back pocket and do that on my next project?
I remember watching, I wasn't in the scene, but I came to set to watch Cloris Leachman do she had like a cameo in the film where she played the school nurse. She was so funny. And it was like all improv, her stuff. She just was like one like banger after another of like funny ideas. And I had never really thought about improvising before that, or like that wasn't even something that was in my wheelhouse. And I remember just being so inspired by her ability to like think on the fly and to go with the flow, and the confidence to be able to do that was really inspiring to me. So it's not something that I really started to do for years and years and years, or really had the confidence to do. But I was like, she's a hero. I totally fell in love with her watching her do that.
I have to ask you about Birds of Prey. It was one of my favorite movies last year. I want to ask you like a million questions about this movie, but I'll just narrow it down to my single favorite shot in the entire film. And it's you going down the slide, like stabbing. Can you just, walk me through what it takes to make something like that happen? Because not only is it a real cool stunt, but there's also that real cool camera move that happens during it.
Yes, that was one of those, our stunt team, my stunt double, Hayley, they showed it to me. And it was one of those things I watched and I went, that's funny that you think I'm going to do that, because I have no idea how to do that. And I don't imagine I ever will. Like, I just thought it was very cute that they thought that they were going to teach me how to do it, because it was, I go into the slide, I sort of spider jump myself up with my hands and legs in the sides of the slide. And then the camera guy slides down, Maddie, our DP, slides down under me. And then our stunt performer slides down under me. And then I flip around and land on him and then stab him all the way down the slide. So that's what they showed me and what I just thought was impossible to do. And somehow you practice it enough that, you're just able to do it. And so we did it, but we did have a couple takes where the DP and I like full on crashed into each other. And it was like, everything just kind of went black at the end, because we really did shoot out a slide at the end of it. We just went flying out. So it was a bit of a dangerous one, but it was pretty exhilarating, especially when we got it right. It was really exciting.
Getting into Kate now, I really wanted to ask you more about your collaboration with Hayley, your stunt double. And first off, because I know you two work together on Birds of Prey, you just brought her up. How exactly does the jump from one movie to another happen? Do you two look at each other on Birds of Prey and say, like, we're working great together, let's go make another movie?
Yeah, pretty much. She actually started with me on Gemini Man. So I worked with her on Gemini Man and we trained together, and she just was like the best and had the best energy and was also just so talented. And so on Birds of Prey, I honestly can't remember now if I asked for Hayley or if they were like, we want Hayley too. I can't remember how it all happened, but we ended up together again. And so by the time I was doing Kate, I was just like, well, Hayley is just my person. I'm to bring Hayley with me anytime there's action. It's got to be Hayley, because it's also just so great to find someone who sort of moves like you, and you feel like when you see them on screen, it's like, oh, I believe that could be me, But what ended up happening was for Kate, we trained together. It was like, we had, this great time training in Thailand. And then on the first scene, on her first day shooting, she got injured and could not complete the film, couldn't do any more on the film. So that was like really a heartbreaking blow. From then on, it was like mostly me. And then we'd get, I had several different stunt doubles coming in from different countries to do different, throws or falls or things. But for the most part, and on a day-to-day basis, it was me on my own. So it was a different experience than I thought I was having going into it, having Hayley sort of, as my partner the whole way.
So she gets injured early on, and then you have to work with a whole bunch of other stunt doubles after. Considering you're doing those stunts with so many different performers, is there any kind of, like nut or a core of Kate's movements that you had to hold really tight to in order to bring all of that together?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's maybe more a question for Cedric, but I think ultimately it's mostly me in the film, so it's more sort of trying to make sure from his point of view on an outsider's perspective, that when someone's coming in who hasn't been on the production the whole time, that they move like me, as opposed to vice versa, where sometimes I would be, if I was training with someone, I'd be like, okay, how do they move? I want to pick that up. I might want to do that or do that. So this time it was a bit of a flip of like, how do you move like the actor, which isn't always the case. So yeah, and I think that they did a fantastic job. We were very, very lucky. I mean, Fa was a stunt double who was in Thailand, who came in last minute. Elizabeth came in last minute. Everybody was like, just sort of like, okay, I'll come in, I'll do what you need to do. And we were very grateful to have them.
What is an example of a stunt in the movie that someone out there might be, there's no way she did that, that's a stunt double, but it's really you pulling that off?
I'm trying to think. It's hard to say because it's all kind of a blur. I mean, the only things I didn't do were getting like thrown through walls and stuff like that. I didn't get thrown through any walls. That's not me. But everything else I really kind of I did, which was a lot of fun and makes me very proud, to watch the film.
I will tell you, this movie officially has my favorite on-screen hair cutting moment.
Oh, nice.
I feel like those are often very cliche, and this one stands out more than anybody can understand without seeing the movie.
Yes, there are, there's a few things about, an assassin on the run kind of thing that you do see, in other films, but I think that our film does those things in an elevated way.
I have to let you go. Again, huge congratulations on Kate. To everybody out there, when you're watching this interview, it's available on Netflix right now. So go check it out. Congratulations. And the ladies' night door is always open to you. We appreciate returning guests. Thank you for being here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Nice to see you.